Well, I do believe we are nearing the end of this particular generation. Things are starting to wrap up, and unfortunately, there's some sad news too. First things first, I have installed a mod by Bianchin called the Book Crafting Fix. There is an issue that, a bug, of course, that does prevent Sims from being able to write bestsellers. I wrote so many books and was having no success. And after installing the mod, I have had one of the five books, I believe, that she has written um, was actually a bestseller. She is doing very well there. She also managed to get a promotion. She is now an author. The fans love her, the critics hate her, you know, that kind of thing. I have only been writing books when her daily task requires it because I didn't want to have too many books, but every day I have to write like 1.5 books to accomplish this goal. So we've written a lot of books. We got the promotion, we got our skill up all the way here to level 10. We've also been making a lot of pottery. As you can see, we have shelves of it. One of our guests broke one, so we will be replacing that one, but she has gotten her pottery skill up to nearly 6. And I also had her start making these like rustic ceramic pots for out front, and she is growing a variety of types of catnip in them. Again, we are working on skills, but not making money from skills. Kind of a little adjustment I made to the rules. If you watched last time, you'll understand what I was kind of getting through there. Her latest book, not doing that great. It was a skill book, kind of talking about pottery and, like, and just a chance for her to write what she has learned, and obviously not super well received, but, she's doing really well. She wrote a horror story called The Cats. That was her bestseller, and it is actually doing quite well. One of our highest paying books, which it should be. It's a bestseller. And I think that there is definitely plans to write like a sequel to that. Probably like The Kittens or something ridiculous like that. But that will be the next book that she works on. We had, I think pretty much everything else is covered as far as her. It's just kind of a lot of just grinding along, trying to get things done. Um, we have been sending Scarlett to preschool, as well as working really frequently with skills here at home. And I can actually get them going again on that. We had to finish some things, but as you can see, her skills are doing very well. It to me makes sense that uh, Oasis would be the type to send her child to a really high quality daycare or preschool where she gets a very high quality education. She's making boatloads of money, so she could definitely afford that kind of education. She also has a nanny who comes in regularly, and the nanny also does a lot of the teaching and very, very good about keeping her educated. It does help that the nanny actually listens when Scarlett asks her for things. So, overall, she's doing very well. And I am excited that she will be aging up soon so that we can start working on her life as a child. Now, I will say outright right away, um, especially if we finish Oasis's goals before she reaches that point, for the most part, we're not going to see a whole lot of Scarlett's childhood and probably part of her teen years play out here on the on the actual videos. I'm sorry, I have to. You're so sad looking. We are adding you to the family. I know you're an elder, but we're going to give you a treat. You're going to be our best friend. And that was the sad news I was about to get to. The reason we have the room to do that is because, unfortunately, the past rescue of ours, um, Precious, has passed away. Um, Elder years just kind of, came to their natural end, and she has passed on over the Rainbow Bridge. And obviously, the family is very sad about it, and it's completely understandable. I guess we're going to have to give Captain Whitaker some attention when we get back, but we're going to hire the nanny, get her over here. Normally, I hire her before she leaves. I'm hoping that that doesn't her like mental health here does not too much affect how she's doing here, but yeah, I have a feeling it will. But we're getting so close. Oh my goodness, these cats, every one of them has been told repeatedly, do not scratch. And yet they keep doing it, and I spend so much money, or more accurately, Oasis spends so much of her money on repairing furniture around here that it's ridiculous. Oh no, Nevermore is aged up to an elder. I knew it was coming, but I didn't realize it was going to be the same day that Precious died. Uh, our Nevermore will soon be Nevermore. Alright, Oasis is home now, and she is going to spend a little time here. I think it might be good if the two of them go for a jog. I think this is kind of just the thing that she needs, someone to help her kind of take a break from all the creative stress and, just enjoy the fresh air with her dog, who probably isn't exactly up to it. I think I might buy a little bit of an age down treat because we just got him, and I'd like him to hang around for a bit, and he only has 3 days left. So I think maybe we'll just give him a little bit of a gift. Oh, okay, so apparently she would rather be inside than walking the dog, but you know, she needs to get out a little bit more. All right, time to finally start that horror book. All right, just as I had set her to travel immediately after she finished the book. So just as I was beginning to travel, I noticed that we ticked off yet another bestseller. So this series of horror books is definitely the spot where she is shining. And I'm starting to wonder if maybe that is the genre that she is most in tune with. Um, a bit of a surprise to me, but I guess she's our next Stephen King, I guess. We're gonna get an age down treat for Captain and return home and give that to him as a little bit of a celebration. And yeah, I think our next book is going to have to be a horror book. Um, Maybe it's a trilogy, and maybe it'll give us that third bestseller. All right, let's give that age down treat to Captain. I think at the very least it brings him back to the first part. Whoops. It's still never not funny. Best mod. It's like the more dangerous puddles or something like that. It's so fun. I don't know. It's so silly, but it's ridiculously one of my favorite mods. All right. We're going to age him down, but all right, Captain has magically become younger. He might be unable to do things that he could do when he was an older dog, so make sure to take care of him. We will certainly do that. Yep, he's an adult now. Excellent. And we're going to give Captain a bath. All right, I think we're going to submit that copy of The Kittens to the Literary Digest. We now have that option again, and I definitely want to see how we do with it. I think I think our odds are very good with this. I also want her to very quickly harvest all of this nuzzle nip so that we can start actually giving that to the cats. I eventually want to have like one of each type of catnip on each side, so I have to kind of get her working on all of that. But we still need to write another book, or at least part of a book, before this day starts in order to try to get that promotion. So I think we're going to start with write a genre book, horror, and I need to figure out what comes next. I think knowing the success of the cats and the kittens and having just brought a dog into the family, the dogs make sense. somehow. It really does. Probably more than any other decision I could have made right there. Royalty reports coming in, and the kittens not doing quite as well as the cats, but still a solid second place. Nope, not even second, because Is It Time for Bed is actually still one of our high selling ones there too. And Mirror Schmear is actually doing better. I don't know. I think that Literary Digest needs to maybe just spend a little time promoting our materials so that we can actually really do well here. Just a thought. All right, it doesn't look like the dogs did as well because it is not a bestseller. I guess maybe we gotta go back to that cat theming. Let's see, what could we do next? The felines? The whiskers? Um, I just realized I never actually sent the dogs off. So, how how is that submitted? I You know what? We'll see how it does. The second time? All of Oasis's efforts are coalescing into a mastery perk, Creative Aura. If Oasis continues, she will be able to channel her experience into an aura that helps nearby Sims build creative skills. Should Oasis unlock the Creative Aura perk? Yeah, why not? I do think at some point in time Oasis will probably give up her career as a writer, kind of feel that she's reached her peak with writing, and will probably focus on one of her other creative skills, perhaps open a small business here at home, something that will eventually fund the very expensive education of her daughter, who wants to be a doctor. And yeah, okay, I don't no idea why those. I'm surprised those don't stack, I guess, because they're exactly the same thing. But anyway, some kind of home business that I have to put these out. Why do I do that every time? Um, and I think the pottery business could definitely be a huge potential option. Um, and if she can kind of emit that aura, then that sounds kind of wrong somehow. Um, then maybe she could teach people and they would actually do a very good job because she's able to, just enhance their ability to learn just by being there. It could definitely be beneficial for a business person to just give off a creative aura. I do wonder, is it possible maybe even she could teach some kind of writing classes or something like that? That would also be a really solid option. Something obviously she would be pretty skilled at, especially if we reach the point that she's completed her aspiration. She would have 3 bestsellers under her belt. I imagine people would want to know what she has to say about writing. All right, she's in a silly mood. Not sure how well that's going to work for us, but she's going to write another horror book. And yeah, let's go with the fur. It gives me like the blob energy. The cats kind of, I was thinking like birds, Alfred Hitchcock kind of thing. Here, yeah, definitely going old school blob. There we go. Yes, the fur has given us our final step in getting the aspiration of her best-selling author. It started with an artistic spark and concludes with a complete mastery of written language. Oasis has just achieved her dream of becoming a prolific writer. She has earned the poetic trait, and she can write stories that truly bring Sims to life. Which means, yes, we've actually achieved the ability to write those particularly special books, the Book of Life, and not super familiar with actually how to do them, to be honest. In a lot of ways, I definitely need to work on that. But let's see. Serial hobbyist feels it's obviously an elder thing. Um, did we actually get any traits other than the business oriented ones? I really wish that we'd gotten some specifically for the tattoos and for the pottery. That would have been really nice. I think maybe we'll just work on income at this point. It's not really something that's important to her, but it's definitely something that she would want to achieve for her child's sake. Oh my goodness, we just blew through several of them right there. How many did we actually do there? Um, okay, we're already on the third level. Yeah, we're not struggling whatsoever. It is perfectly great for us. I don't know. She's just having a very good life. Yes, there have been sad moments, and one might think she's lonely because she does not have a relationship, but she's actually just very happy exactly as she is, and her dreams are fulfilled. She is loving her life so much, and I am loving that for her. All right, so off camera, I'm going to continue to work on the levels of her career, just kind of basically doing what I've been doing, writing and writing and writing and writing, playing some chess when she needs some more logic skill. When things get a little, like too much writing, she goes and does some pottery. We're going to focus on raising Scarlet to the best of our abilities so that she will be what she needs to be to become this famous doctor sometime in the future. Next time you see me, and next time you see Scarlet and Oasis, we are probably going to be in or near her teen years. I think likely we will have achieved the top levels in Oasis's career before then. It's kind of inevitable that would happen. But I think there's not a whole lot to see until we get Scarlet to those years when she can start achieving her goals. For the most part, we have finished what we needed to with Oasis, and it's kind of just waiting now. So we've got the young adult sim who is creative and ambitious. We started with zero. She's just completed the best-selling author aspiration. She'll continue to only make money through writing until we top off her career. But as I said, I don't think that's going to take much work. And then we are allowed to do the additional side jobs and paid hobbies, is how I'm kind of interpreting this. Once she has reached the top of the career, we have to max out painting or writing. Obviously, we've already maxed out writing. And one other creative skill, I suspect that is going to be pottery. If you consider gardening a creative skill, she's definitely going to be working on that as well. And she's had the child. So all we're really waiting for is for her to finish her career and continue to max out another creative skill. So I would, for the most part, consider Generation 1 at this point in time completed. And we'll be checking back next time with Scarlet and hopefully getting started on her journey. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day and keep on being perfectly you.